So I'm currently sat in traffic on the M25 and the sat nav is trying to divert me via the North Circular. So I've got a choice: sit in traffic on the M25 or join the North Circular and sit in traffic there. Now, the sat-nav I've got has got live traffic updates, so you would think that following the sat-nav is going to be the best option, but it's the M25. As quickly as it gets busy, it can clear up and be free-flowing. So, yes, I can go join the North Circular, sit in the traffic that's only going to get worse because it's rush hour, or I can see what the traffic's like after this junction and carry along the M25. I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I must say that the sat-nav system that I have got in this truck is the inbuilt one. It's the TomTom system, comes direct from Mercedes. And it is very good, except for when you need to go inside the M25. And yeah, it just becomes utterly pointless. It just seems to forget that other roads exist. Once it's made its mind up that you are going on this road, it won't change its mind. I've now cleared the traffic, and you would have thought it would have carried on wanting me to go round the M25 all the way round towards the M11. But no, it still wants me to come off at the next junction and go in onto the North Circular. So until I get past maybe the A10, I think it is, it will constantly want me to go to the North Circular. So I just ignore it. So I thought I'd just show you where I had to reverse into. The delays have already started this week because I had to wait an hour for someone to turn up at that delivery site. It's an unmanned warehouse, so I had to make a phone call to the boss to get a telephone number for the people who we were delivering to call them, and then they were saying, well, they needed some time to get to us. Then of course, being London, there's traffic for them to get to us, so I was waiting for an hour. And as you would have seen from the previous video, part of the video, it was a little bit tight to get in there, to say the least. Now I'm back out on the M25 and I'm heading to the yard to do a trailer swap, because as I said in the previous video, I'm doing some container work this week. So I've got to go down to the docks, get the container, and then I'm heading up north somewhere. I think she said Warrington. On my way to the docks now. I had to wait for another driver to bring back their empty container. their container for their next delivery is already in the yard. So rather than them take an empty one down and come back up without one, makes sense for me to take their container down and pick my one up at the same time. And then I'm off to Warrington. Because I had to wait for that other driver, it has meant that I'm going to be cutting it quite close to my booking slot. So I've got a slot of 3 till 4 for down at the docks, and my ETA at the minute is 5 to 4. So if I hit any major delays, then yeah, I'm going to miss that slot. Getting to the docks at 4 o'clock in the afternoon is never a good time to arrive because they are always busy. I had to get held in the pre-gate area, so the area where you go to book into the docks, before I could then be allocated a lane to exit that area. I then had to go to the area that's called Transfer Area 2, and it's just one of the areas where they put the containers on or off your trailer. And I then had to go to Transfer Area 3, and all of that took about an hour and a half. So not a great deal of time. I've spent longer in the docks, but yes, a long time. It's an hour and a half that I didn't really want to spend. When I come out of the docks, I had to go straight into the services for a half an hour break because I needed to do that to reset my drive time. And I'm now making my way up the A34 to try and find somewhere to park. Last night I made it to Cherwell Valley and there was no spaces in the HGV parking. So I went round to the coach bays and found a space in there. I thought to myself, well, I've got a container on and they kind of look like tippers. And if there's anything that Big Daddy's taught me, is that tippers are basically coaches. So that's all right to park there. So that's what I did. Went in and paid for parking, came back, set my alarm, and pretty much went to bed. It felt like a long day yesterday. I went into my 10-hour driving day, only by about 15 minutes. So that's one less that I've got for this week. It also meant it was going to be a 9-hour rest as well. So yeah, although I had longer than 9 hours off, I've already used one of my reduced rest periods as well. So yeah, just about to join the M42. Got 2 hours from here to get to the delivery site. Apparently it's a recycling centre, so I've got to dig out my PPE, hard hat, goggles, high vis, everything. So yeah, get that done on the way up. I also need to stop for fuel. I've got enough fuel to make it to, I think, Kiel services, so that's where we're heading. And I can also get some breakfast there as well. That delivery in Warrington is now done and I'm heading straight back to the yard with an empty container where I'm going to do a trailer swap and I'm off to Bedford. I need to be in Bedford this evening. My delivery is at 6 AM tomorrow, so I don't want to have to drive there too early in the morning. I'm hoping to get up as far as junction 13. There's a truck stop there, so hopefully I can make it that far. And yeah, after that, back to the yard, another trailer swap, and then I'm off to Newport, Wales. And yeah, coming back again, and then it'll be another trailer swap. That's the downside to doing container work. Unless you go into the docks straight away and have your container put straight on the trailer that you've got, you have to constantly go back to your yard and swap over trailers. So yeah, it's probably the more annoying bit about the job. But the big advantage is I don't have the delays down at the docks because my containers are already in the yard. I thought I'd save myself some time by coming down to the docks today rather than tomorrow, because tomorrow is Wednesday for me and I need to be home tomorrow rather than being home on Thursday. And it seems to have backfired. I'm now sat in a queue waiting to get into transfer area 2 to have the container taken off, and then I'm in the same area to have the container put back on, but it's just mayhem down here. I've already done 40 minutes sat in the pre-gate area, and now I'm again, waiting in a queue. So yeah, what time I probably saved tomorrow, I'm going to have lost today. One thing that's really important when you are out on the road is to find secure parking.
Good morning, everybody. Guess what? I've had a visit from the old curtain fairies. Scumbags.
And the trouble is, secure parking isn't always secure. I was talking to another driver this week, and he'd had his curtains slashed whilst in the services. So you're paying all that money to park there, and you're still getting damage done to your truck. You're almost better off taking a risk in a lay-by, because the chances of you actually getting done over are quite slim, and you've saved yourself 30 odd quid. So my delivery's done in Wales, and I'm on my way back to the yard. Need to stop for fuel on the way back. I'll do that in Lee Delamere. I've got about 3 hours driving, and it's 2:45 back to the yard from here, so I'm going to have about 15 minutes spare on a 10-hour drive, so providing I don't hit any major delays, we should be all right. Need a 30-minute break as well, so I'll get that whilst I'm in Lee Delamere, and then go round to the fuel pumps, get that done. And then tomorrow I'm coming back into Wales. So yeah, another trip over the bridge. Today is going to be a bit of a mission. I've got to go from Basingstoke, where I've just collected, to Cardiff, do a delivery, then over to Gloucester and do a delivery, and then a reload at the same place, and take that back to Basingstoke, where I collected from this morning. It's 9 o'clock this morning, and I've got to get that done by 4:30, because the place where the stuff's going back to is closing, and they're then going to be shut for the weekend because they're having tomorrow off. Lucky them. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mission. I've got to factor in brakes and unloading time as well, so yeah, I think it's going to be a bit close. If I do make it, I will be amazed. If not, it just means we've got to store it till Monday when they're back open. So yeah, be all right. I best just get cracking. As I thought this morning, I'm not going to make it back to Basingstoke, so I'm going straight to the yard. Spoke to the boss, spoke to the customer. They're both fine with the fact that it's not going to be delivered now till Monday. As I said earlier, they're closed tomorrow, and the boss is like, it's fine, it's not a problem. It'll be my job, realistically, for first thing Monday morning. Tomorrow, I'm doing a collection in Southampton, and then I'm off to Birmingham, and then that'll be a reload somewhere to come back towards Andover. Hopefully I get that off tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm going to crack on back to the yard. Does mean also tonight I will be able to make it home again. So 2 nights in a row at home in the middle of the week. Can't be bad. You know, sometimes you get to a collection and you think to yourself, why have they booked it for that time? So I got to my collection at 7:45 this morning for an 8 o'clock booking, and they told me it wasn't going to be ready till gone 9 o'clock. So, well, you booked me here for 8 o'clock, why have you booked me here when you kind of knew that it wasn't going to be ready? Well, anyway, it was 9:15 when they started loading me, so 15 minutes after they actually wanted me. Not too bad. It's taken over an hour to get loaded, and I've not had the full load put on. I've only had 15 pallets because they still weren't ready come 9 o'clock. Now I've got to make it up to Birmingham from Bournemouth, because I was actually closer to Bournemouth than Southampton, by 1:30. My ETA is 2:15 and I've not had my driving time, working time breaks just yet. I'm going to be having them in the next few minutes. And yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I've also got a collection to do as well, the other side of Birmingham. So I don't think I'm going to be making it home tonight. I think I'm going to run out of working time by the time I actually get there. Today has gone from bad to worse. After all the delays this morning, I eventually get to my delivery and I'm an hour late, so I have to wait in the queue of traffic because of course I've missed my booking slot. That's after they've all had their lunch. They start unloading me and the quality control guys want to reject the load because it's wet. Of course it's wet. I was loading it up in the rain this morning and it's only had a 4-hour drive to dry out, which of course it hasn't. Because of all the delays, I'm not going to make my collection on time, so my collection's been cancelled. So I haven't got that to do. But even with that, I'm still not going to make it back to the yard this evening because I'm going to run out of working time by the time I've had another break, which I need to have. I've got the drive time to make it, but yes, I'm going to find some parking. Lay-by somewhere will be fine tonight because I am empty. I'm just going to make sure I open my back doors because I don't want my curtains slashed like Jono had this week. Yeah, and then I've got to be back home for 8 o'clock in the morning so my wife can go to work. So I'm going to be running in on Saturday. It's safe to say, Cup Friday has striked again. I've made it to a lay-by on the side of the A34, parked up for the night. I think it's going to be a little bit noisy here, but hopefully it quietens down. The last thing I've got to do is open my back door so that people can see inside so I don't get burgled in the night for nothing. One thing I always do is open the passenger side door so that way if the little trombone that holds the door open moves in the middle of the night because it's being rocked about, the door then isn't swinging into the main carriageway. Now that I've done that, I will end the vlog here. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the vlog. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all of those good things, and I shall see you guys in the next one.